Please welcome Skift Research Manager, India, Varsha Arora.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, there are no overlapping conversations anymore. So I was saying that today we're going to be talking about something that is truly transformative, as we've been hearing, the transformation of the Middle East. Now, as the title of my presentation suggests, we're going to be talking about connectivity, which is the growing influence of the Middle East. Then we'll be looking at how to leverage this growing influence by talking about demand as to who is traveling. And we'll also be looking at what are travelers seeking, which is experiences. Let's start with the connectivity aspect of it. Now, I'm sure you must be wondering, center of gravity, it sounds like a physics lesson, but here it simply means where and how people are traveling. What is the center of travel? Now, traditionally, it has been Europe. If anyone was to ask you, you might have answered that London or Paris are the center of travel. But when we looked at the international travel patterns using some UN data, we found that, if you average out all these movements as to people traveling from different countries, it happens so that back in 1990, the center point of travel used to be somewhere in south of Spain. And now, as you can see here, it has moved to south of Greece. So it's increasingly moving eastwards and southwards. Now, why is that? We know that global wealth, global population is moving in this direction. And as economies or regions like Africa, Asia, and Latin America come up, there will be a growing influence of these regions on travel as well. Now, historically, Middle East has been the crossroads of trade, as we just heard this morning. But now it's sort of reclaiming this role in the world of travel as well. And we just saw that in how the Middle East came out of the pandemic. It was the only region that witnessed a double-digit growth in international tourism arrivals in 2023 and also into 2024. That just shows the growing influence of this region. Now, the question is, how does this region make the most of this momentum? How do you leverage this growing influence? You have to start by understanding the demand. Who is traveling? And as we know, international travel sounds all glamorous. It made headlines, especially in the post-pandemic phase. But the reality is that domestic travel remains the backbone of the travel industry. This particular segment contributes to around 75% of global travel spending. However, it is expected to reduce to 70% by 2030. And at the same time, intra-regional travel, which is basically travel within the same region, is expected to grow from 16% to around 20% by 2030. So this is a big opportunity for this region because we already know that countries here have started investing into making cross-border travel easier with initiatives like Unified Visa. And also we are seeing shifts in who is traveling. Now, you can imagine all these source markets to be bucketed in three clear categories. One is the enduring traveler base, which is your mature markets like North America and the Western Europe. Then there is one segment, which is the newly affluent class, which is obviously countries like India and China, which are coming up in a big way, and also Middle East and Northeast Asia. Then there is this third category, which is the rising travel markets like Caribbean, Latin America, Southeast Asia, which are sort of contributing those first-time travelers to the global travel scene. Now, by 2030, this travel spending shift patterns are expected to change. Enduring traveler base contribution is going to shrink, while India and China and the emerging economies will be contributing more to this global travel spending. Now, as you know, these countries happen to be in the Middle East region. They are literally short-haul, mid-haul distance away from the Middle East. So this region has access to the most populated and the fastest growing economies at present. Now, this is just a beautiful, ideal setup. Now, the next question to answer is, what are these travelers seeking? there used to be a time when people would, choose a destination, go there, and see as to what experiences they want to, be a part of. But now this booking funnel is sort of flipping. People now are thinking mostly about the experiences, and then they choose the destination. We recently did a survey in collaboration with McKinsey and found that beyond the basic essentials like safety, affordability, it is the local experiences that are the center of travel decision making. Now, people just don't want to go out and sightsee. They want to be a part of the destination they are in. And this is a big opportunity. We're talking about a $1 trillion market wherein live events and adventure travel are going to lead the way. And Middle East is at the perfect position to leverage this. We just saw it firsthand at what happened during the FIFA World Cup, which was hosted by Qatar recently. It was a game changer for the region. I mean, it did not only bring in spectators, it brought in a lot of attention to this region. People's willingness to travel here increased. Even, cities like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Morocco, they all benefited out of this live event that happened in Qatar. Now, it just shows us how live events can actually transform a region into a must-visit destination. The other thing, live events is not the end to experiences. There is more to it. And as Assam Kazim, CEO of Dubai Tourism, recently mentioned during our Skift Global Forum, people are wanting to get engaged more. They want to be a part of the real culture. They want those genuine connections with the destination. And let's take Abu Dhabi, for example, here. Back in 2022, they had a major push. They gave a major push to the art and culture scene within the country. And what was the impact? The tourism numbers went up. The hotel occupancies went up to 70%, which was more than the region's average. Now, that is the impact that culture-focused tourism can have. Now, an experience that matters now more than ever, and we have already heard about this on stage till now, and we'll be hearing more about it in the coming sessions. It is an experience. We all know sustainability is all about environmental responsibility, but it is beyond that. It is, in the travel world, it's all about embedding it into the travel system in a way that it becomes an experience. At present, 76% of travelers are wanting to, go in for more sustainable travel choices. And this is where Middle East has the real edge. While other regions are trying to retrofit sustainability, Middle East is actually building stuff ground up. Projects like Al Ula, Neom are just examples and blueprints of how travel can be embedded into sustainability and convert that into an experience. So you preserve culture and nature at one hand, but also make an unforgettable memory out of it. That is how Middle East is shaping it. And this is how it's going to attract this new wave of travelers, which is very, very eco-conscious. Now let's bring it all together. Till now, we've learned that 1, Middle East is getting on the center stage of the travel global scene. 2, we know that intra-regional travel is growing. 3, we know that this newly affluent class or newly affluent travelers from emerging economies like India and China are going to grow big. We also know that the traveler today looks very different from how it used to be. They are focusing on experiences that matter. They are focusing on culture, sustainability. Now, what do tourism stakeholders do with all this information? To start with, one is look in your own backyard. Look at what you can do out of the local travelers, inspire them, and just cultivate this sense of pride in their own region. Second is obviously open doors for these newly affluent travelers. You have to make travel super accessible. You have to, obviously this calls for taking off all the barriers, making visa processes simpler, and stuff like that. And then third, and the most important, is design experiences that matter. We know that travelers today are craving authenticity. So let's bring in it in all the interactions possible with the travelers. Let's make sustainability our second nature. I mean, imagine a world where airlines are sort of giving us regional connectivity seamlessly. They are also flexible with visa arrangements. Hotels are bringing in local taste on the table, and I mean, just hotels representing the local community. That's how we want it to be. And of course, I mean, investors, that is the biggest community, which is going to make all of this happen by placing their bet on the best of infrastructure, which will make all this possible. So with that, I want to bring my presentation to a close by just saying that the Middle East is having a pivotal moment in the tourism, journey of theirs. And if you place the right amount of focus on all these three, connectivity, demand, and experiences, it is just in the perfect position to deliver those memorable experiences that we're talking about. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach us at research@skift.com. Thank you.